June 2014, Derek and Maria Brodus bought their dream home, Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey. The beautiful 6-bedroom house seemed perfect for their family, and they were excited to move in. But just days after closing the sale, a letter arrived in their mailbox, addressed to the new owner. The letter was disturbing. The anonymous writer introduced themselves, the Watcher, claiming their family had been watching the house for decades. They wrote chilling lines like, "My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched in the 1960s. Now it's my turn." The letter also mentioned specific details about the Brodus family, like the types of cars they drove and their children's nicknames, information that wasn't public. The writer asked if the house was bringing the young blood they had requested. The Brodus family was terrified. They reached out to the police, who took the letter seriously, but there were no leads. A few weeks later, another letter came. This time, the Watcher referenced things only someone observing the house could know, like the children playing in specific rooms and even their birth order. The writer also hinted at secrets hidden within the walls of the house, asking asterisk, "Have you found what's in the walls yet?" It seemed like the person was watching them constantly. Fearing for their safety, the Broduses stopped bringing their children to the house and delayed moving in. They hired private investigators, installed security cameras, and even reached out to former owners, but no one knew who the Watcher was. Strangely, the previous owners had also received a letter just before moving out, but they dismissed it as a prank. More letters arrived over the months, each more threatening than the last. The Watcher mocked their attempts to find him and even referenced renovation plans, saying the house was disappointed with the changes. The family grew increasingly desperate, even attempting to sell the home. But rumors had spread, and potential buyers were scared off. The Broduses filed a lawsuit against the previous owners for not disclosing the letter they received, but the case was dismissed. Finally, after years of anxiety and fear, they sold the house in 2019 at a significant loss, leaving behind the mystery that had plagued them. To this day, the identity of the Watcher remains unknown. The family moved on, but the legend of the chilling letters lingers, a haunting reminder that sometimes you never truly know who's watching. Amber was a college student living alone in a small apartment just off campus. It was her first time living by herself, and she loved the independence. But after just a few weeks, she started noticing strange things happening around her place. At first, it was small stuffed food going missing from her fridge. Lights she swore she had turned off were back on, and random items seemed to shift places. She brushed it off, thinking she was just forgetful due to her busy schedule. But things began to escalate. She'd wake up to find the bathroom light on, or the kitchen cabinets slightly open, even when she was sure she had closed them. Amber started feeling uneasy. One night, she decided to set up a small webcam in her kitchen, thinking maybe she was sleepwalking or just imagining things. The next morning, she checked the footage and what she saw left her shaken. In the early hours, a shadowy figure crept into her kitchen. It was a woman, dirty and ragged, who walked confidently to the fridge, ate some food, drank from a carton, and then vanished out of frame. Terrified, Amber called the police. They searched the apartment, but found no signs of forced entry. That's when they decided to look deeper. Behind the pantry in her kitchen, they found a small, almost invisible door that led to a crawl space. Inside, they discovered a thin mattress, blankets, and half-eaten food. It turned out the woman had been living there for weeks, sneaking out at night to eat and move around while Amber slept. Amber was stunned. She never heard a thing, not a creak or a whisper. The woman was arrested, but she refused to speak, never explaining how she got in or how long she had been there. Amber moved out immediately, still haunted by the idea that someone had been silently living just a few feet away from her, watching her every night. To this day, Amber double-checks every door and lock, and she swears she'll never live alone again. The idea that someone could share your space, completely unnoticed, still gives her chills.